Hello, welcome back. This is James Herrera from UX Shape. Today we're going to continue our third series, and this is going to be the second part of this third series of the mobile app prototyping course. We're going to be looking at the login and sign up screen, and today we will be focusing on the connect with Facebook account, how we can connect using our Facebook account, and to demonstrate to our developer how we want the interaction and the flow and the design to look like. So what we're going to do now, we're going to make use of some following, and I've put some things on a notepad here. We're going to make use of dynamic panel, which is going to have one state, and from the dynamic panel we're going to be using a mobile pop-up so that we can connect with Facebook. The assumption we're going to make, we will assume that the user already have a Facebook account and they are logged in into the Facebook account on their mobile phone. So we're going to make sure that the user has already logged in. Most of people that use a Facebook account, they already have Facebook set up, they are logged in, they might never sign it out, and that is it. So we just want to make sure that we connect fast, very easily with the Facebook account of the user. So what we need to do now, we need to put this back, and to get started we need to make use of a rectangle box, which will get rectangle widgets. I'll just make this, I'll make this 300, and I'll make this 300. And what I'm gonna do, I'm going to make sure that we have we name this, I'll say Facebook, I'll say login with Facebook panel. Then the corner radius, I'm gonna make it 2, and then I will remove the border as well. So we have clean rectangle square widget. So we have this now. What we need to do next, we need to look at the information that is going to go into this widget. And the first information that will go into this widget will be the Facebook icon. We want to make sure that the user know they are logging in with Facebook. So we're going to get a Facebook icon, and we just put it somewhere here, and we can make this as 24. Because it's font awesome, and because it's in version 7, we cannot change it from the size at all, by dragging like this. We cannot do that. We can only change it from the font size. So the next thing we need to add, we need an image of the user who is connected to Facebook, and we get an image, and I'll just make this 75, and then to make it a perfect square, I'll just write this and make the corner radius 100 and make sure everything is perfect square. Good. Perfect circle rather. So we have that sorted, and then the next thing we need to do, we need to get a text that we're going to use for the name, and we're going to write our name, which is James Francis, and then let's just leave it like that. So what we need to do, we need to change the font type, Marvin Pro, and the text we will say 16, or let's make it 18. Let's leave it on bold. Let's align middle, align center, and let's just have a little bit padding around it so that we have space. Yep. Then the next thing we add is a little bit of text to show the user what we are actually doing with their Facebook account and so on. So you will realize that because we are connecting with Facebook, we're going to be making use of their personal information on Facebook, such as their name, their image, their profile information. So we want to make sure that the user understand once they are logging in using this system, that they can actually, they know what they are, what they are logging in with, and the information they can use, or the information they might want to share with the app. So we will just put here and say actual shop will be accessing, actual shop will have access to name, email, and other public info, then edit the information you provide. Now, this is very important, although Facebook is going to provide this information when you're connecting through their API. So this can be customized as well as you want. So we're just going to make sure that this looks like, we're going to make this bold, and we're going to make sure every text is Marvin Pro, and we're going to have this as 12, and we're going to align center, align middle, and then we're just going to give it a little bit of padding. In fact, we might make it a little bit smaller. Let's make it 10, and then let's make it 10, and we have this. So the next thing we need to have a button, which we're going to put here. We're going to have a button, and we're going to make this button 50. I'm just going to move this button down and make sure it's the same height. And then I'll remove the corner radius by dragging this, or go to this corner radius section and change this to 0, and that is it. We will remove the border, and we will change the background to black, and we'll change the text to white, and the font to Marvin Pro. And we can either bold it, and I'll say here, continue as James. So we have this information. What we need to do now, we need to make sure everything is aligned properly. We will use the align center here, and distribute vertically, and we're going to group this together. Once we group this together, we will be able to now highlight this section, highlight the icon, highlight this button, and then distribute vertically. We're not going to distribute center, we're just going to leave it as it is. So once we've done that, we need to convert this panel here. We need to convert it to dynamic panel, or we could probably highlight everything and say right click and convert to dynamic panel. Once we convert to dynamic panel, everything, we can give the dynamic panel a name, which will be login with Facebook. And you can see once we give the dynamic panel name here, the name changes here as well. So we have it in the widget manager, the dynamic panel login with Facebook. So we save this, and we finish with this design. The next thing we need to do is, if we preview this page, we can see that we are seeing our page, but we don't want the user to see this page login with Facebook, because we want the user to click this button, and once they click this button, then they can now make use of this login with Facebook. So we would then need to go here, go back to Azure, click on the dynamic panel, and look at this hidden section here. We just need to click hidden. Once we click hidden, we see that the dynamic panel has been changed from the normal blue state to the like kind of a yellowish state. We have this, and we need to move this, regardless whether we move it or not. We just, to make sure our design is okay, we need to move this into the design, send it to back, and then bring forward, click it once. Once we've done that, we will save it, and we need to go to our button. Remember, we need to click only this button and provide interaction to the button, and we need to provide the state. The state we're going to be providing will be the on click, and we're going to provide it. The state will be when the user click on this button, we want the dynamic panel that we've created to show, and we want the information as well on the dynamic panel to be displayed, and we want the user to connect to Facebook. And once they've connected to Facebook, they've been like granted access, and they will be able to log into the home, move into the home screen. So on our sitemap, we need to create a page called home screen, which is the home screen. Now the home screen is going to be the main shop, and we would just know that, okay, this is where the shop is. And what we need to do, let's get this phone area and copy it, and let's paste it into the home screen. Increase the border, page align, center, browser only, vertical, horizontal, and let's change this to CC. Yeah. All right. So what we need to do, we need to put a text so that we understand that we are in the home screen. Home screen. So once the user clicks on this login with Facebook, the dynamic panel will load up as a mobile pop-up, and we can click on that text and we will show whatever we want to display. So what we need to do, we need to go into our dynamic panel and go into the widget manager, then go to state 1. Let's just increase this to 150, and we need to go to this button. We need to add an interaction here and say continue, which is open link, then open the home screen. Click OK. We go back to the sign up screen, go back to the page, and we are done with that part of interaction that is going to take that page to the next screen. So you can see we're working on the customer journey, the flow of the application, how one screen, moves from one state to another state. Then the next thing we need to look at, we need to now add the interaction here on this button, which is the most important thing that we need to look at. Firstly, I think I need to remove this text here, and I might just have to type this text inside here and just give this a little bit of space, yeah, so that we know that we are connecting to it. The reason is that we don't want to be having too many text. We just need to make use of just the button and then type the text inside it. So we need to click on the button, connect with Facebook BTN, and once we've connected with Facebook with button BTN, we say on click event. Now what we need to do, we need to first show and then bring to front. The reason we are showing is that we've hide it, so we need to show the dynamic panel, and the reason we are bringing it to front is because we have sent this dynamic panel to back, so we need to bring it to front. So we will say show, we click on show and say connect with Facebook BTN, and we go to visibility, we select on show is by default, and then we will look at the animate. How do you want to animate left, right, or slide right, left, or up, down. We just leave it as none. And then because we want to make it look like a mobile pop-up, modal pop-up, we just need to say treat as light box, and we click on the bring as well, and we say bring login with Facebook to front. Actually, what we need to show here is the login with Facebook dynamic panel, not the button. So we click OK and we save it. Now we've done this interaction, but after what we need to, we've done that and we don't need to do anything else. So let's test our prototype and let's see if it's working. Remember last time when we preview it, we can see this dynamic panel because we didn't hide it. Now when we refresh the page, we will see that we can't see the dynamic panel anymore. So when we click login or connect with your Facebook account, we will see the dynamic panel and we will see this this button. If we click this button, we will go to the home screen. But there's something, we are not actually seeing the modal pop-up, and the reason is because the last time we make a connection here, We actually made a mistake and made it to be here, so we just need to make sure that we reselect it and make sure we come back and say select a slide box, and then we click OK. Save it, refresh, test. Now we have it as light box, which means we have kind of a background overlay on the main app, and we have this login with Facebook. The image of the user is going to be here, the name of the user will be here, the text that can be added, and the continue as James will be added. When we click continue, we move into the area. We'll notice that another thing again we want to do is that when we click on connect with Facebook and we click here, we just go back to this page. We don't want to have an interaction whereby when we click here, we just go back to the next page. You can see when we click on the mobile area, it goes back to the next page. So that is how a mobile pop-up works. So I think this is interesting now, and we've landed on our mobile app prototype of our e-commerce application home screen. Now this is the home screen that is going to have our banner, our product, our categories, our listings, and this is where the user will now be able to shop for goods that you've put on your mobile app. Now we've done that bit. What we need to do, we need to make sure that we have a little bit of interaction into our prototype, and we're going to make sure that we preview our work very well. In our next tutorial, we're going to make use of validation. That means we're going to have a username and password so that we will prevent the user from actually accessing this page. At the moment, when the user click login and sign up page and they click login, if they click login button, they just go directly to the home screen, which is if you click on login, we need to add this interaction here, login, and say home screen. But we're going to be making use of some information which is going to make it interactive as well. So we can save that and we can test it. But what we need to do, we need to make sure that the user enter a username and password, and we do that simple validation so that we can actually protect this image. And also we might not be previewing this work anymore using the sitemap, and that is why we might have to close this button so that when we start the app goes from the home screen, and we can actually make sure that we can sort this thing out properly. The prototype now is working as planned. This is the 4th series, which is connect with Facebook that we've done. We've done with a dynamic panel and with a mobile pop-up, and we can see here which has the splash screen, the onboarding, the login and sign up, login, password, sign up using email address, and home screen. Let's just test it and let's see if we've missed any interaction so that we can fix it before we end this tutorial. We've loaded our page, state 1, and we've logged in here. We can connect with Facebook, which we go to the home screen. We can go back to login, which will sign up using email address, create account. Once we create account, we log in, and once we log in, we go to home screen. If we can't remember our password, we can retrieve our password as well again, which goes to our retrieve password. And from our retrieve password, if we remember, we can log in and remember our password. On our login page, if we don't have an account, we can create an account by signing up, and we can log in. So we've done all this interaction and everything is working, and we can close it, and we can always return back to this home page here, which makes our prototype looks really interesting and very well laid out in terms of the user flow and the user journey. So thank you for watching this tutorial. In our next tutorial, we're going to be focusing on more interaction more of a validation. We're going to be making use of logging in using username and password. So we will enter a username and password, and also we will make use of loading options, so that once we log in, we want to load some interaction before we actually display the home screen, and little adjustment to our prototype to make it look more user friendly and improve the experience of the app. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.